Thank you, asanteni. Yeah, first I want to sincerely appreciate all of you for making time to attend this very important session of public participation on matters privatization and the budget for 2026-2027. Bwana Waziri, before I delve into the specifics that require my attention, I want to appreciate you because you are one of the CSs who has really revolutionized the budget making process, and by coming down here to meet Wananchi, that's really a plus for you. And I want to laud you for that effort, and also to appreciate our students from Sigalagala, KMTC, na pia what you're most. Students, power! Power! Asante. You have to be compliant. First and foremost, there are many projects we are implementing in this county with the national government, which I'll be failing in my duties if I don't highlight them. We are implementing Buhungu International Stadium with national government. So far, the project is ongoing, and we expect by August this year, Buhungu International Stadium will be done. And then, of course, that will enable us to host African Cup of Nations next year. Hapo tunasema ni, we are also implementing jointly with national government the Kakamega Level 6 Hospital. The government has put in 1.2 billion Kenya shillings. This is a 750-bed capacity hospital. It is going to be a referral hospital of its kind in this region. We really want to appreciate the President for his magnanimity to make sure that this project is completed this year. By September, hopefully we shall be commissioning Kakamega Level 6 Hospital, and this will address some of the challenges we have, especially on unemployment of the youth. So wale ambao wako hapa, KMTC, and all the other students pursuing clinical medicine, ETC, will have an opportunity. We have 3,000 employment opportunities that will be created after completion of Kakamega Level 6 Referral Hospital. Wapi makofi ya rais pale? Jointly, we're also implementing the industrial park. This is a project that is supposed to transform this region, and the national government is putting 250 million. The county government has also put in 250 million. We are expecting by end of this year that this industrial park, which is also going to be an aggregation center, will be completed, and it will support the supply chain programs, and also support our farmers in matters export and agribusiness. So I want really to appreciate national government for the support, because under Article 187 of the Constitution, we must collaborate with national government for purposes of serving our people. Specifically on this occasion where we are having views on privatization and the budget making process, there are quite a number of issues which have come to my attention. Bwana Peter, the business community, I agree with you on the concerns of harmonizing the taxes so that we avoid the double taxation between the national government and also the counties. The PFM Act is very clear on what is chargeable by the county government so that to avoid duplication. This is the property taxes, land rates and levies. And the national government, of course, has the main budget sources. I think what we'll need to really look at is just to make sure that maybe inter-county levies are harmonized, especially when we have programs that cut across the counties. But on the issue of double taxation, you should not worry because the law is very clear. On the infrastructure, I know the national government has done extremely well. The President commissioned the construction of this road from the airport, Shinyalu, Rondo Junction, up to Chepsonoi. As we speak right now, kazi inaendelea pale. In order to link Kakamega to Bungoma, there is also the C41, the famous C41, kutoka Lurambi, Navaholo, hadi Musikoma. Again, works are ongoing, so that will open up this region and facilitate the business community. Bungele Mwananchi, Penina Piketty, I agree with you, we need more funds, especially on grants to the women. As a county, we have allocated some funds, but the bigger issue is the vertical share, which if it's increased, then we're also going to increase funding to these grants to women. John, I agree with you that we really need to consolidate the bursaries, the same has really been alluded to by Victoria. This consolidation will help the national government. Where we sit as the county, it's very clear that we don't have the business of giving bursaries. But the consolidation, I know there's some law that is being worked on. It will really be very good so that we don't have duplicity on the bursaries. That is an aspect that we really support. What we want is, one, it has been legislated. It should be consolidated enough to make sure that all the deserving cases, if the fund is going to be administered by the Member of Parliament, then the key issue is the transparency, so that the deserving cases get to be assisted. On the issue of EGP, digitization of the procurement is a good thing because we are going to really address the wastage. What the counties have really been asking for is just time to implement. We need to have a sunset clause so that we can onboard everybody. It's not that we are rejecting or we are opposed to efficiency in procurement. So we really support the issue of EGP, but let's have a sunset clause so that the implementation is not rushed. When you bring everybody on board, including Mama Mboga, and I know Bunge la Mwananchi, Mama Piketty, you are representing Mama Mboga, let them come on board so they're not disadvantaged. Because without thinking through the EGP, some of those specific affirmative action, like the procurement that should be reserved for the vulnerable groups, EGP does not understand that. So when we get more time to think through, then we can create an affirmative action within the electronic government payment system so that it is more effective to improve on efficiency and also to accommodate the special groups. Bunge la Wananchi, John, you don't have to wait for Waziri. Mukini invite, mimi nitakuja pale. Because I like getting views from Wananchi. So you don't have to wait. Waziri akuje hapa, ndio tuwe na kikao na Bunge la Wananchi. Wilberforce, President of Sigalagala, I cannot agree with you more because security of our students is critical. The only way we can improve on security is to have street lighting. And street lighting, the biggest challenge we have is inadequate allocation of funds to counties. And that is why I want to agree with my colleagues who have spoken earlier, that let's resource the counties, because when we have insecurity, the first point of call is the counties. I know it's a function that is domiciled in the national government, but sisi watu wa ground are the ones who really feel the heat. I want also to agree with the summit chair summit. I know we have the apex. Odongo, I cannot agree with you more. The grants za nyota zipewe graduates pia, because these are young men and women, at least to have some bit of acumen in terms of management of resources. So that is something that Waziri can respond to. In terms of the allocation of the budget to counties, Akosi, one of the Apex members, he really brought it out. Summits. You know, Waziri, we have the summit and the Apex. So Kulwana summit pale most, but you have another summit in the assembly. So really, Baba, our departed party leader, was so passionate about devolution. And in the 10-point agenda that was signed by the president, who is the party leader of UDA, and our departed party leader, they really pronounced themselves on supporting devolution, even putting a figure there of a minimum of 450 billion Kenya shillings as being what is adequate to finance counties. I know I wear another hat as the chair of Finance, Planning and Economic Affairs Committee at the Council of Governors. By virtue of that position, Waziri, as we speak right now, we are making comments on the budget policy statement for 26-27, and the 420 billion Kenya shillings that has been proposed is not adequate to fund counties, because it is just a paltry increase of 5 billion, because you're moving from 415 to 420. So for us to make sure that we really support some of those functions which were unbundled at our 12th summit, let's really think through the budget making process and allocate adequate funds. Healthcare is a devolved function. We agreed that UHC staff will transit to counties and be employed on P&P. And the condition was, let's have a specific allocation of 8.97 billion. If that can be included in the budget for purpose of the equitable share, we'll really agree and support. We also appreciate the adjustment for revenue growth, because there are many cost centers that have increased. If you can get the adjustment of 35 billion, that would be very good, as proposed by CRA, because I also have the advantage of getting the proposal from CRA. We have the unbundled and delineated assets and functions of around 65.97 billion. So really, when you look at that aggregation, the 415 being the baseline, not 387, put 65.97 billion for unbundled assets and functions. Add 8.9 for UHC, because you want to absorb the UHC staff for the next financial year. And finally, adjustments for growth of 35. So if you can humbly consider, and you know you are really a friend of devolution. When you were appointed, you were very excited that really we have now gotten a CS who is progressive, an FCPA, and a CS ambaye anaelewa mambo ya mwananchi. Counties will really be happy if you can consider 525 billion Kenya shillings as the vertical share in DORA, and this will really go a long way in enabling us to offer some of those specific requests or asks that have come from the floor. Otherwise, on my behalf and the behalf of the county government of Kakamega, I really want to appreciate you This is a very progressive program of public participation, and is really going to inform a lot in the final budget policy statement of 2026 and 2027. Because I have another engagement, Waziri, before I allow the PS for investment to come and make a few remarks, I really want to thank you and thank the national government here, represented by the county commissioner. Our collaboration with the national government is really impacting positively on implementation of programs of national priority. So mimi nakushukuru, and I want to encourage all the participants. Vile waziri ako hapa, even after he has given his remarks, if you still have any burning issue, waziri ako hapa, he will listen to you. Students power. Summit chair, najua muko around 150 here, tumeongea na waziri, so that the transport ya wana summits and the students who are here will be taken care of by myself na waziri. So mimi kwa summit nitapatiana 50,000 Kenya shillings. So Odongo, najua wewe ndio summit chairman. So chairman summit, kuja chukua hii mchango wangu, because mtoto akililia kitu lazima apewe na mzazi. Sawa. Makofi kwa summit chair, na waziri pia anacheza kama yeye, 100,000 Kenya shillings. Waziri apigiwe makofi. Very well. Chair Kipra summit, unajua bado. Chair Kipra anaongeza kitu kwa summit. Na mimi najua nyinyi wana youth, mambo ni 2 term. Hapa Kakamega sisi tuliamua ni 2 term. Sawa sawa? Na tunajua tukishirikiana hivyo, we are going to transform this county and this country. With those many remarks, it is now my singular duty to invite the PS investment, Mr. Odede, to make a few remarks, ambaye baadaye atakaribisha PS Makoha, who will in turn invite our chief guest, waziri wetu wa National Treasury. I think, Bwana Waziri, because you know my schedule, it was really an honor for me to be here. So mkiona nikitoka mapema, I'm supposed to join my party leader in Busia, so that we can consolidate the gains of forming the next government of ODM and UDA in 2027. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Karibu Bwana pia.